Today, we're going to make a rack for all these batteries. Welcome back to the mini workbench. I've got a bit of an issue. I've collected a number of 18 volt and some 14.4 volt, my original pair of Hitachi tools that got me started in the battery tools. But I've got a bunch of batteries, different vintages, some cheapy replacements as well. Half of my batteries are original Hitachi batteries of different types. There's an 18 volt 4 amp hour. This is a 36 volt or 1836 5 amp hour 18 volt. These claim to be 5 amp hour 18 volt, but I'm not so sure that they're quite up to the spec of an original battery. And of course the 3 amp hour 1440 is the original 1430 BSL 1430 batteries that came with my first tools a long time ago. So the problem here is that I read the instructions. That's the problem. I read the instruction booklet for one of the tools that I recently got, and it basically said that it's important to store the batteries well charged, fully charged. So I'm getting into the habit of not leaving batteries uncharged. As soon as they drain from use, then I whack them in the charger. Now I've actually got two chargers. One of them was a recent purchase, second-hand purchase. So they're that was good because it was an original HiKoki one, but I got it for about the price of the aftermarket cheapies that you can get on the internet. So I was very happy with that. So I've got two chargers that I can set up, and I can easily keep batteries charged. But once they're charged, I don't want them lying around. One of the things they do say, you don't want to put them in a bag or a toolbox or something, because you've got these terminals. Yes, they're well protected, but if you get a nail or something in the wrong spot, it could cause a fire, a short circuit across those with such powerful batteries. So I want to make a rack that takes advantage of the slot, and so you can buy little mounts for batteries, screw mounts, and you would mount them to a plate. Individual ones, they're about $6 Australian each on the internet. 6.6 is a 36, so $36 worth of batteries, worth of mounts. Yeah. But I've got lots of scrap timber around, so I figured I'd just make something, a cradle basically, that allows me to hang a row of these batteries. Probably mount 6 of them. I've got more than that batteries, but once you've got a couple charging and a couple waiting for charge and the whole series actually charged, and I think the numbers are pretty good. So that's the intention: a wall-mounted 6 batteries, probably painted up consistent with the Hitachi colour scheme, just to keep the theme going. Oh, welcome back to the mini workbench. I'm playing around with batteries today. I've got some Toshiba batteries here that I have with my tools, and I was wanting to make a rack for them. Now I could 3D print a rack, or I could buy them. They're about $5 or $6 per tool, and then I could mount a series of them. But I was playing around with these batteries that I have. That's the most recent one that I've got. I've got some. I've got a 14.4 volt, couple of those tools, and quite a lot of 18 volt tools. So I have both sizes of battery. Hitachi, modern Hitachi, that's an 1836, and this is a Vanon replacement. So they all fit the same mechanism. So essentially what I've got here is just a piece of masonite that I cut out, and initially I created a cardboard template which has been binned, but that allowed me to create the shape that the battery fits in, and of course once one fits in, they all fit in. The characteristics here are that it looks like we've got 6 or 7 millimeters to spare there, but actually there's that step here, so we've only got 5, maybe 5.5 millimeters. to play with. And the only thing I could find in a 5.5mm in the scrap pile that I've got was a piece of masonite, and this is just over, I guess this is 5mm masonite. So that's not going to be very strong. So behind it, I've got this backing piece, and I've just masked that. I was ready to put this all together. These position nicely. I actually pre-drilled those holes. The batteries fit in very nicely. There's clearance with the sections below, and it just looks like it's going to work. So that's really good. So now we've got ourselves effectively a battery holder that can hang on the wall. Now the only thing that I've just been thinking about today, I actually got a sticker. Now that's the finished product. Was going to be all ready to go, and I was going to screw these on just to give that an extra strength, because I didn't trust glue. Glue's going to be fine to hold it on, but just, the weight of these batteries pulling forward, all the weight of the battery is forward of the line. I just didn't want that to pull off. I bought a sticker via eBay, and I'll cut the red bit off, and I was intending to put that there, but I'm not that happy with that. So what I've done, what I was thinking is maybe if we put another section, this is just a piece of scrap that I found, we'll put another section, just a little bit of depth there, and the sticker will just look a little bit better. And of course everything's got to look good. I haven't cut that very well. This is very rough cut. I was really just playing, but I think it's going to work. So I'm just going to cut out a section there. What's that? 18 centimeters. So I cut an 18 centimeter piece, round it off, fill in the groove, maybe do a little bit more filling, and maybe do a layer of filling and sanding so that's a little bit smoother. But essentially, screw these on, glue that on, resand it, repaint it and all that sort of stuff, and we'll have a battery holder. So that's the intention, and I'll do a little bit more work on it and come back and explain it. Welcome back to the mini workbench. Here's a little bit of progress. We've just added this piece on. I've got to do some sanding. I might do another fill after sanding this, but essentially I'll just slip that nicely. But essentially this is what the look will be. Now, I didn't mention earlier that I tend to make things out of scrap timbers and things I've got left over from projects, and the piece here is actually a decking board. So I've just cut that out of decking board. Now the decking board itself, I was worried that this was going to be a weak point, particularly because I'm relying on that, for the weight of the battery. So what I actually did do originally is I did my trick with the skewer, with the chopsticks skewer, or skewers, but in this case chopsticks. And these chopsticks are about, if I remember rightly, 5mm. These are a 5.68, so it's a 5.7, 5.8. So that's essentially this one I'd use a 6mm hole, but I've essentially chopped a section of this bamboo off, drilled a hole down to about this depth, and put that inside. So that gives me certainly a dowel through the middle of each of those for strength. You can just see the remnants of that under the paint there. So there's the progress. I think that shape is good. I think we now are going to be able to fit in this sticker a little bit nicely. It is a bit big in my mind, but hey, it sort of shows that I've got a bit of a hooked on Hitachi. I know you sort of get stuck into the battery ecosystem. And that's one of the problems. I just think the industry should get over itself and just have interoperability of batteries. But of course, they want to guarantee the performance and whatnot of their tools and lock you into their tools. But I think the world's a little bit more mature than the immaturity of those types of attitudes. And interoperability works in many industries. I'm not sure, why this particular industry is anything special, but never mind. There are plenty of other industries like that, like cars. You can't take parts from one car and use them on another, I guess. But all right, so that's where we're heading. I've got a little bit of trimming here to do, probably around these corners, so everything's sort of a rounded corner match. and then that'll be ready for repainting, everything repainting. The painting I used was just a metal finish, a textured metal finish, hammered finish I think it was, spray pack, and I think I'll do the same. It's in a grey colour that sort of matches the Hitachi, the grey on the darker of the silvers on Hitachi products. So just trying to keep a theme going really more than anything. Not trying to turn into a Hitachi advertiser in that sense. Anyway, that's progress. I'll get this finished up basically, and then we'll screw it together and see. The issue about mounting is I haven't yet decided exactly how I'm going to mount it on the wall. I may well route in some hooks for putting in, for slots basically for mounting on hooks, but I just haven't thought that through just yet. But at this stage, this is what we've got. Well, here's the finished product. You can see that we've got it all finished off, sticker added in, and nice easy fit for any of the Hitachi 14.4 and 18 volt batteries. It's a bit hard to show you on this overhead camera shot, but it really accepts any of these batteries quite well. In fact, I'll show you from the back here. So you can see the masonite board that makes up the section that slots in, and these just drop in. And the thickness of the decking board, which was 19mm, gives you enough distance to make a clearance for the top of the battery here as they go in. So that's been very successful. I haven't mounted it anywhere yet. I've got a place that I think I will mount it temporarily. In fact, on a cart that I've got, so that'll actually be down low underneath a table for my drum sander cart. So that'll fit in there nicely and hide these batteries, or keep these batteries, sorry, in a really good location for ease of use and storage. And of course, we're storing them charged, and that's one of the reasons why we have this arrangement, so that we're not storing them in a box or a bag or something, which would potentially, see a nail drop in and short the terminals or dust and whatnot. So I think it's a good little exercise to go through to make a little rack for your batteries, and that's my one in particular. So it's quite the success. Well, thanks for watching, and look out for more videos from the mini workbench or Proto 49. This is a luthier's vise that I've been experimenting with. So we might see a little simple video on with a few still shots on how I've gone about creating that. Once I'm happy with it, it's got a little bit of binding. We'll talk about that separately. Anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe.